Put in Frothies preview time. I was going to say Baggy and Darnie. Who are they? Daggy and Barney back again to preview. Brent stuck around to do the preview show as well. Check us out on YouTube, all that good stuff. Apologies, I don't know how much the camera was good or not in the last one. It's on the way out. I have to look for a new one this week, so add that to the list. If anyone wants to buy us a new camera, hit us up on the socials to sponsor us.
Always open for sponsors.
Exactly. Anyone that rhymes with Dorges
and Great
Drains.
Northern, if you're listening, we're also open for sponsors.
Yes, they did back in the day, many years ago, for Club Trev, but it's been a minute. Anyway, long story short, we've got round 6 to look at here. Injuries have taken their toll. It's all a bit wacky at the moment. May as well get stuck into it and talk about the rest later. We kick off on Thursday night with the Knights hosting the Roosters up at McDonald Jones Stadium. The Knights look exactly like they did last week, which is good, except for, let me have a look here. Oh, Luke is still there, that's right. So no changes from last week. For the Roosters, Teddy and Walker are both out. Marnie goes back to fullback. Connor Watson moves to 5'8", and Keary to 7. Junior Polgar comes in onto the wing. And Michael Jennings plays his 300th NRL game. Although we're not allowed to talk about that.
But don't forget the flop of last round is also out, Dominic Young.
Yes, no, I mentioned that. Fuck me, can someone else do this? Zach Docker Clay comes onto the bench. And Nat Butcher's back in, bumping Egan out. Satilli currently is back on the bench. Some mail around that he might not play and he's a little bit out of favour, but we'll see what happens there. Could all be bullshit, as it tends to be. Let's have a look. You may as well open the batting here, Brent, as our guest.
Sorry. Yeah, what do I open the batting with?
Who's going to win and stuff?
Who's going to win? I think, honestly, with Teddy and Walker out, I think Newcastle's going to do it, especially if they show up like they did last week. I just think that they're going to do it. I'll probably put Hastings in for first try scorer again.
Oh, wow, okay. Good.
Yeah, I know it was surprising last week, but I just think he might be able to do it. But I think it's going to be a 1-12 match.
Barn, how have you seen this? Is interesting. This is now, I'm just looking at the odds actually. Now Roosters are drifting out to be on 250. It starts to become a little bit scary because Keary and Manu, just given one job, might be a bit scary.
Yeah,
here.
that's sort of. I was sort of geared up to think the Knights would win pretty comfortably in this game, and then you look at that team list, even minus a few of these guys. If they get it right, the Roosters can definitely win this game. I just really like what I've seen out of Ponga over the last few weeks, the way he's been able to get the ball to the outside edges and set up points. Gagai coming back in for mine is a massive in. He's been fantastic for the last 12 months, probably even longer. Like, he's been one of the Knights' best players. His footwork's been crisp and he's been fast and strong. And I'm going to go with him first try scorer, man of the match, Ponga, Newcastle 1-12.
If the drift continues and get $2.80 plus Roosters, I think I'm going to back them. But I'm going to tip the Knights for the sake of this but I'm no way convinced. Actually, just quickly, I'll look at the weather in Sydney.
Oh yeah, weather is also
given what we saw last week. But I'm going to tip the Knights 1-12. You've both, for the same reasons as you, missing Teddy, missing Walker. Forward pack not quite with us. And I think Knights just on a nice trajectory. Finally probably settled. I think both Hastings and Cogger probably just going to be at ease. Hastings and Cogger can't fucking even talk at the moment. What's going on? Both be at ease.
See, maybe if you'd have moved to Gentleman Jacks like me and Barney, you'd be all right.
I know. We'll sort that out later. After last week's performance, that'll bring the best out of them. I'm going to go for, actually a bit out wide here, and go Jennings, 3 rounds of the game, having to start on Bradman Best probably isn't ideal for him. We haven't actually seen Bradman Best have his real fiery couple of weeks, and that might be on the horizon. So Ponga spreading the ball to Best. Going to have first try for him. You might even get a couple. And I think at the end of the day, Ponga's hit his straps. He's got a golden month ahead. And I think he's going to just rack up another Supercoach ton and be on his way.
I was actually hoping for Bradman Best to hit his best last week, and he just didn't.
He's not quite at his best, there. Bradman Best. we'll save the song for when he is. Weather looks pretty good. Late shower Saturday is the only concern in Sydney. And there's a good weekend ahead. Day 2 of the championships, which we'll preview on Show Us Your Tips. UFC 300, which hopefully I'll also be watching all of. But that doesn't matter because we've got it to Friday night.
Must be Adrian Shout.
Storm and Bulldogs.
Quick throw off there.
Where the Storm are unchanged. All bar Tepi Moroa coming in for Jack Howarth. Nelson's in an extended squad. Apparently he's placed on report 2 or 3 times in reserve grade, so we'll see there.
Yeah, okay.
Joe Chan, 18th man, so maybe around as well. Stephen Crichton goes to fullback for the Dogs, who obviously lose Blake Taff with his concussion, which pushes Karaz in a spot, and the Fox is back on the wing. Kurt Mann out, 7-13, Curr into second row, and they've got Bailey Hayward debuting, Poasa Fasuamawali, Hughes and Kautonga are on the bench. Chris Potato is starting, despite Hughes' pretty strong effort last week, but any hope here, Barn, for these Bulldogs off their win?
I don't think so. You saw how many points that Melbourne could score last week. I think Munster, second week back, going to be even better than what he was the week before. Hughes gets his kicking game right, and Grant and Pappy sniping it around the middle of the field. I can't see the Dogs scoring more than about 10 points against this Melbourne side if they aim up in the middle and really shut down that Bulldogs forward pack, which has been a consistent theme to them getting beaten. Melbourne 13+. I think they do it quite easily. I'm going to go with Munster man of the match, second game back. I think he really caused some problems on that left edge against the Dogs' defensive line. I'm going to go with Harry Grant to score the first try, the barge over. So,
be waiting. I don't have much to add. Agree. They were flattered last week. Storm will not flatter them as much. There is a point of concern, and it's the one I raised with Warbrick and Meaney on that right-hand defensive side, and that's the one they're going to target. So I'm actually going to go with Kickow setting up the first try and actually saying they score first. Kickow and then Crichton chiming in to score first.
Okay.
Don't think it's going to matter, though. The Storm keep giving team starts and running them down. Going to Storm 13+, and I'm going to go Jerome Hughes man of the match, but I would have said Munster, and I just doing it because you did. So I wouldn't say he's really good, but he's on the way to being really good very quickly. Brent?
Look, the way I look at it, this is Bellamy's best.
Mm-hmm. Close to it. Yeah.
Like, this is almost back in the day, top 3 sort of team. Like, definitely Melbourne 13+. I think Bulldogs might show up and put a try here and there, maybe with Kickow. Obviously, Crichton in fullbacks is, hopefully it's good for him. It hasn't proved the best in the past when he played for Penrith and fullback, but hopefully it does. I'm going to put...
I think Taff is out at the wrong time, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think if he was here, you'd give him a chance of scoring another
100%. It
6
sort
or
of
12 points.
It adds that extra little element that Crichton hasn't become part of that element yet, whereas Taff has now become part of that element. I'm going to put Pappy as man of the match. I also would have gone Munster, but anyway.
I was originally going to go Pappy, but I switched back to Munster. So.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Pappy for man of the match, and I'm going to go... This is tough for first try scorer. This is a hard one. I think I might even back the Harry Grant on this. I think that charge over is a high possibility here on the first one. And Melbourne 13+.
Just so everyone knows, this is probably the first week I don't back him first try for the year, so he's a complete moral, so get on now. The Suncorp Stadium hosts the main event Friday, the lowly 11th place Broncos taking on the Dolphins, which shapes up as a cracker. Reece Walsh is back. That's good.
11v1.
So Tristan Saylor goes back to the bench, which looks weird at the moment. But
it does look strange.
Jock Madden is playing 7 with Reynolds out. Oates starts with Marin out. And it means the bench is Smoothie, Willison, Hetherington, and Tristan Saylor, which feels slightly small to me. The Dolphins, well, they're missing a few too. No Herbie, no Kafusi,
Yeah, Herbie's
no
Herbie's
Kurt
out for a little
Donahue.
bit, I think.
Yeah, he's at least a month.
Yeah.
Tessie New back in, the enormous Tessie New's back in on one side, and Anthony Milford is named in the 15. Any other changes? Kenny Bromwich starts with Jared Wallace coming back into the 17 as well. Very interesting, Barn.
Can I just go back to Herbie for
course you
just 1 second? Was it pec or shoulder? I'd never actually...
Shoulder.
Well,
It
said
was
AC
shoulder.
joint.
Yeah, AC joint, so
righto.
shoulder, yeah.
No, just I never heard the final verdict
No,
on it. I
it
just
looked
seen
a bit like
what
a
happened.
pack. You're right, yeah.
And it did look like pec. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I thought he originally dislocated his shoulder, which would give way to an
Well,
AC joint.
that's
Well,
but,
that was sort of when he walked off. Like one
It
shoulder
was-
was very
yeah.
sharp, and the
I
other
think
one
you're
was
just
dropped.
listening
Yeah.
to Michael Ennis fucking say he pegged
Things.
75
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, well,
in
that
a minute
helped.
and a
Yeah, well,
half,
that-
which probably didn't help.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help.
You could have cut out 8 words in that sentence and just said, listen to Michael Ennis. Didn't help. But anyway. No, listen to me right now trying to talk is helping, so that's good. Yeah, what are you doing, Barn? Come on.
First real challenge for the middle for the Dolphins this year, I think. Testing you out on that edge really doesn't help the ball getting out to the likes of Bostock, so he might be someone that you might spell this week in your Supercoach team. I think the Broncos really dominate the middle of the field in this game, and I think that's where a lot of the good stuff's going to come from them. Again, with Tessie New, Katoni Staggs, first try scorer. I think he's going to run straight past Tessie New for that first try, and I'm going to go Broncos 1-12 and Pat Carrigan, man of the match. The middle of the field, just dominating.
Mr. Henwood?
Look, first try scorer straight off the bat. You can't go past the hammer.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
I don't think the Dolphins are going to win against this Broncos pack. Is Reece Walsh up to what he should be? We don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to put
You
hammer.
should
as
play
for-
in an eye patch. That would be cool.
the Pirate Walsh.
That'd be mad.
Like a wrestling mask, padded
yeah.
wrestling mask.
It's kind
But
of
yeah,
like
no, I just think Hammer will go in first. But I do think Broncos will win this 1-12. And look, yeah, I'm sort of tossing up between Carrigan and Ezra Mann for man of the match.
I was excited about Walsh, to be honest. And to be honest, I'll be probably if they do have a man of the match market, I wouldn't be surprised if it is Reece Walsh, because I think he's going to go out of his way to prove that he's fine, and he's going to be taken on the line a lot.
Well, we saw how
But-
that game, well, not the game, he got injured in the first minute, but he has been their first point of attack, even when they've been full strength. So I think he's a big in. He's going to do a lot of kicking for him, I suggest.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Ezra Mann sort of has shown up while he hasn't
He's been
been there.
fantastic.
And,
No, he's been very
and
good.
I just think that, if Walsh is not up to the task, that he can definitely take out the old MOM.
I feel an ambush coming here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tip the Broncos, but I feel an ambush come. I'm scared of this game because
Okay.
It's always going to
but
be a
I
tough
just-
game.
I just
It's
feel
the
Timpy-
derby.
you look exactly right. It's going to be a Bennett circle job that, hey, let's get ready for round 6. Let's get him.
And it's not like
It'd almost
Bennett
be a case
doesn't
of they'll
know.
win if they'll be set for this game and then lose the next 4. But that said, I'm tipping Brisbane. Tom Flegler against his old club too is very interesting, taking on a depleted pack, so he'll be out with a point to prove. But I agree with what you've said. Carrigan's going to just do a mountain of work. I think Reece Walsh is going to bring the points. And you're coming off this team did score 30 points against Melbourne. I don't think I could sit here and say Dolphins are going to score 30 points against Melbourne if they were to play this week. So
I don't think so either.
too much strikeout wide. Avarillo and New versus Staggs and Cobbo with Reece sniffing around. I think there's just points to be had. I'm going to go Walsh man of the match as well. First try. Jesse Arthur's good for it. Cobbo making someone look silly, putting him down a silo, and off he goes. But I think you're right in that Ezra Mann's going to make a point for this next few weeks of trying to really create things around. In and
Yeah,
around.
like try and step up that, and especially with Walsh coming in, I think he's going to actually make a point of stepping up his game that little bit more than he already has.
Super Saturday kicks off. Wherever we kick off, we spent half hour discussing meat before this game for this show, but somewhere we'll be watching this where the Warriors host the Seagulls from Go Media Stadium. The Wars welcome back DWZ and Kurt Capel, which is nice. Good luxury to have there. RTS switches back across
Both
off
ex-Penrith.
the wing. Yeah. And Adam Pompey drops out. Mitch Barnett goes back to prop. Bunty drops out with a hamstring injury. No Garrick after his HIA, so Burbo goes back to the centres. Corey Waddell starts. Carl Lawton, Bullimore Sipley, Nathan Brown is the bench. Yeah, haven't missed much there. No, that's it. I think Wires are just building nicely. I think they're not going to... Their outside backs defensively have matched up any team at the moment, and they can do their best to shut down the pace of the Manly outside backs. And I think they'll just keep the roll going. They're just starting to build on. Going to go with first try scorer. Let me think about this. Manly. Rocco Berry first try. Bit of a shift there and getting outside Ben Travojevic and scoring between him and Borlo. Man of the match. Probably Sean Johnson.
I'm going to go Warriors 1-12. I think Manly a bit of a let up after last week. Be a little bit off compared to what they were against the Penrith side. Warriors to really lay down that foundation through the middle of the field, and if Manly do have a weakness, it's through that middle.
I brushed that very quickly, but yes, there's a very good forward pack that they've now got to beat. Yeah.
So I think they'll definitely make a plan for the first 20 minutes to be really physical through the middle of the field, and then you'll see the ball get to the outside edges. And as we mentioned before, they provide so many options out there for tries. I'm going to go with RTS. He's been in and around everything. He's been doing heaps of physical work. I think this might just be the week where he blows the game apart. I'm going to have him as man of the match and first try scorer. Ooh. Warriors 1-12.
Very good.
Yeah, look, I don't think Manly's in this class. Up the wires. I just think the Wires are just going to overrun Manly. See, I haven't even thought about first try scorer yet. This is where it gets tough. But man of the match, I think I'm going to go Wade Egan on this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Warriors 13+, Wade Egan man of the match.
If you're looking for Wade Egan man of the match, you're probably looking for a back row or first try, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
Or
it's
a
got to
front
be.
row.
See, that's sort of that's the decision here. Like, I think Big Fanua Blake might actually just bust over the line here.
I'll tell you what. You can do worse than just backing both of them first try at the 30s every week. You'll be in head.
Well, Fanua Blake's like 15 these
you're already
days.
he's
already broken out of those 30s, mate. He's coming down.
Or cover the 3 and throw Jackson Ford in and feel pretty good about life. The 5:30 game is back to Combank where Parramatta host the Cowboys, the Cowboys lose Zach Laver with an ACL, unfortunately. Tom Chester comes into the side, and Vilami Valia is the extended bench. For the Eels, they've dropped Makasivo. Simonson and Russell are the new wingers. Penasini and Harper are the centres. Dejan Arce is the new number 6 with Talangi being gone. Dylan Brown 7. Forward pack looks about right. Let me just double check this.
Dropped or injured?
No, dropped,
I think he's dropped.
Yeah, he's named at 22.
Scored a point.
Yeah, Talangi and Sivo both on the extended
belly flops,
bench.
as you called it earlier.
The old belly flops.
They're starting. Oh, Cartwright's back too. He's important.
Yes.
Hopgood starts. Moretti, Madison, Offengawe, Tuolangi. The bench. Brent, have a crack at this.
Look, I think Para might actually show up for this game. I don't know. We'll see on the day. But, yeah, I'm going to go Para 1-12. I'm going to go Gutho for the man of the match. And I'm going to go Big RCG for a run over first try.
He does usually play out one a year.
He does, and I think he's about due. He's got that fire in his heart right now, and I think he's just got that. It's coming.
Okay. Barney?
Yeah, I think Parramatta will show up a much better performance this week as well. But I'm still going to go Cowboys 1-12. I just think there's more opportunity for points in the outside backs in the Cowboys than what you're going to get out of the outside backs from Parramatta. They may win the middle and they may win a big part of this battle, but I think the Cowboys will just outpoint them at the back end of this game. Dearden, man of the match. He's been, good without setting the world on fire. I think this will be a game where he can really get involved and start pushing the edges. And I'm going to go with Jeremiah Nanai, first try scorer. He was too bad to be believed last week, and I think he would have got a bit of a pull through from the coach. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's roaring onto a short ball off Dearden for the first try score.
I do agree with the fact that Parramatta will be better this week. I don't know how much that bounce back counts at the moment. My concern is the same as yours in that they spent an hour on the Tigers line and couldn't score a try, and then they've gone down and done the same down at the Raiders. So I don't know where the points are quite coming from. We keep forecasting it was going to be Gutho producing, but he hasn't really got a crack. He just never gets a crack at the moment. So concerning times for Parra. I'm going to tip Cowboys by more points, ironically. That's how you win rugby league games, who'd have thought. So go with them to go 1-12. Probably not a blow-away game, because I just would be shocked if Parra get towed again, then there's real concerns.
Look, honestly, I think this is going to be an under 40-point game.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. First try scorer, we'll go with Val Holmes, because off the back of last week, another one who just should have scored a few and kept dropping the ball. Man of the match, I'm going to go with Dearden as well, because I think he's had a really good season. And just some nice cherry on top would be good here. Bunnies host the Sharks at a core 7:30. Jai Gray is the new fullback with Latrell going out. Tyrone Munro onto the wing. No Damien Cook.
No,
Peter Mamazelos plays 9.
Damien
Chikam Havili, Shaq Mitchell, Davey Moali is the bench. Sean Kepi and Tallis Duncan have been dropped as well. Tavia Tola, Tom Burgess, Colomatungi host, and Murray the forward pack.
We did touch on this earlier.
Yeah, as I said in the review show,
Cook.
we get to a stage where coaches actually don't have an answer, and now they're trying to invent an answer, and I feel like Souths have reached that point.
I think this is a big mistake from South.
Well, you don't fucking say, okay?
Like Damien Cook, he's not quite on his full game at the moment, but he can lead a freaking park.
Unless it's an attitude thing with him as well.
It might be, but
Could be.
but maybe that attitude thing is because he's speaking up and no one else will, and maybe they need someone to speak up.
Well, the other thing is all three of them signed long-term contracts last year for big money, and that's it. They're sorted now.
Yeah, I don't know. David Cook 18th. Man, it's a shock.
A do-or-die game. They probably couldn't have asked for a better matchup realistically, because their strength is their forward pack, and they're coming up against a very depleted forward pack at the moment in the Sharks.
They dropped half their forward pack.
You still got
Still a
Colomatungi,
decent
you got
fullback,
Murray,
yeah.
you got
Totola.
Burgess, you got Totola, who are some of the middles in the game, and the Sharks have got about one middle in there at the moment, and it's Hazelton. And Kafusi's been going okay
I didn't
as
talk
well.
about them, sorry.
But
Nickera's back. That helps.
Yes, it does.
Talakai's onto the bench because Kale Iro is in the team. And overall, probably a better balanced lineup with Nikora and Welton, Oregon Kafusi starting. The big boy, Hao Tapua, also on the bench.
Correct.
So they are playing 4 forwards off the bench, but 2 of them are Billy Burns and Jack Williams. So
Exactly. And they got 3-4 blokes sitting on the sideline that are 6'4" and 115 kilos.
Toby Rudolph's on an extended bench, as is Hamlin Ueli. So
if those two come back in, it could be a different
potentially, I'd be shocked if one of them didn't play.
Do or die game. I was teed up for the Sharks 13+ to begin with, to be honest, just the way the Souths have been going. But it's a do or die game. There's going to be emotion here, and they're going to be trying to do their best. We'll see what happens. Still got the Sharks winning. I think they win 1-12. I think McGuinness, man of the match, just doing those 40 to 50 tackles again in the middle and taking all those dirty runs through the middle that nobody else wants to get involved in. Maybe poking his nose through the line a couple of times. And I'm going to go with Nikora coming back. Little short ball off Hines for the first try.
My phone's actually just died, so I've got no visual aid here at all. But yeah, definitely, I don't think Souths are up to this task.
No, they're not.
I think, Sharks are going to get up 1-12. It's tough. It's
The NRL,
tough.
you got it?
This
Yep.
This is going to help me just for a second.
I'm a little frightened of Jai Gray. I've only seen him 2 or 3 times, but
been
he's
good
a
both
little
times.
live wire, and he does get in and around the ruck and cause a few problems with acceleration and pace.
I was actually just about to ask the question, who is Jai Gray?
He's the shortest man in the NRL, apparently.
I have not
And
actually
he's
seen him play.
He's shorter than Adam
tiny
Reynolds.
little dude with headgear,
Yeah, I
got some
think
good
he's-
acceleration and a
I
and a
think he's
side
like
step.
5'7" or something, or 5'8". Yeah.
Well, I'm going to throw, just for the shits and giggles, I'm going to throw Jack Whiten in there as first try scorer here, because it's a high possibility.
Well, he's the
like-
hope of the side now.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's him and Kuamatangi.
Exactly. So I'll throw him in there, but definitely Sharks 1-12, and I think I'm going to go with Nico for the man of the match.
Yeah, he did. Well, I'm sure he'll get 6 Dalian points. It probably depends what it in.
Yeah.
But you're going to a South team that have 0 point of attack and have dropped the 2 points of attack they may have had in Latrell and Damien Cook. So, cool. I can't see how they're going to score more than any points. And you got outside backs that have been awful, and now you've swapped another winger, and are going to have to go and defend Katoa, Ramian, Iro, who's a good player, who haven't seen been exposed, and Mortalo. I think individually they're going to struggle. Nico will have his little. I think they'll bring back the sweep this week. They'll look to target those edges, come back, and Nico's probably going to get 3 points. First try scorer, Jesse Ramian, just because all the others usually score, and he might just have get into with his footwork and his strength and get one for himself for once. 13 plus. I think this will be a slaughter. I think this is the final stand of Demetrio.
Yeah, wow.
Members' Day at Campbelltown on Sunday. The Tigers hosting the Dragons. For the Tigers, they've lost Bateman and Fainu, unfortunately. So Justin Matamua comes back onto the bench, who's got a spruik on him. We've got Sullivan still at 6. The back row is now Seyfarth and Papai, and Kapoa is the other body on the bench there. Jake Simpkin plays his first game of the year, replacing Lanu Feitu. For the Dragons, Sele drops out. DeBellin drops back out, sorry. Hamlin Sele comes on to the starting lineup. Michael Molo back to the bench. Tom Eisenhuth is currently started at lock. Blake Laurie on the bench, who apparently is out of favour, if things are to be believed. But luckily the Dragons have now reached the point where they get the made-up stories at the moment, so that's good. What am I looking at here? I think if all things are considered, a longer turnaround, I think it's going to benefit the Tigers. And I think their effort's been better than the Dragons in 4 of the 5 games this year. Tip them 1-12 with no confidence at all, because we do tend to get lose to these dorks. Stefano, outstanding, man of the match. He'll do it again here, lead the way and bash up this interesting middle. And first try scorer, let's go for Olam. He's busting over there, owning one of these outside backs, but the other wouldn't shock me. Happy to see Seyfarth start. I think Fanua Pole has flown under the radar this year. I think he's had a great start to the season. Brent, you can go next.
Look, is this the flop game of the round or what?
How dare you?
No.
Probably, unless it's not the next one.
Yeah, well, that's it. We haven't got there yet, have we? So far, this seems to be. But, I'm really struggling here, eh? I think this is going to be like a 2-point game. And that means 2 points scored in the whole game.
Okay. No, if I can get the Tigers fan on, he's hilarious. And a Panthers fan on.
No, all honesty, I think the Dragons might come up with this. I'm going to go them 1-12, just barely, within 2 points. But I also think that the Tigers are going to get this first try, and I'm struggling to. I actually think he's due for it. and he's proven it in the past that he can do it.
Yeah, you're Charlie Staines, aren't you? Because you're a filthy Panthers fan.
No, not Charlie. No, Appy.
Fair enough.
I think Appy's going to have a dummy half run about 1 metre from the line, straight over.
Barn?
Because I reckon that's about the only chance they're going to get of getting a try.
Okay.
And and that's if they get the try. I think Dragons might get one try and a fucking penalty goal to win this game. I can't even pick a man of the match. So
If Dragons to win this game, Ben Hunt will be man of the match, and Tyrell Sloan will score 3 tries because pace is always a concern against the Tigers, and I think it's pretty simple. But, Barn, how are you seeing this?
I think the Tigers will win the middle. I think you will see a bit of the ball thrown around at, some maybe this last 15, 20 minutes of both halves, and which will provide you 20 to 24 points scoreline or something similar at the back end of this game. I'm going to go with the Tigers 1 to 12. I just think that they'll own the middle for long enough, and then if that happens, Appy will get out and be man of the match, get in and around and cause problems for the Dragons' defence, set up some tries. But I am going to go with the Dragons to score first. Tigers' first sort of 10 or 15 minutes has probably been their worst for this season. So I'm going to go with Lomax to score the first try for the Dragons.
And the 6 o'clock Sunday game is Canberra and the Titans. It would be a Monday if possible because that's what this is a total Monday night game. It's either one of these two or Parramatta.
Oh, so that wasn't the flop game of the round.
Well, yeah. But anyway, back down in Canberra. Actually, not necessarily but it was just a fact. When they used to have the Monday night football, it was always Parramatta, Canberra, or the Titans playing.
Someone.
Yeah. But anyway.
That's because nobody ever watched Monday night football, and that's why it's not on anymore.
Correct. Chevy Stewart is making his debut for Jordan Rapana and Zach Hoskins back too, which pushes Mariota back to the bench. They're the main changes there. Corey Horsburgh's out with blah, 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 blah.
Knee scan, I think it was. Yeah.
Kieran Foran's been named. We're still waiting on scans. And Liu's back from his head knock. I won't spend too long on this. Titans are shit, and the Raiders are less shit. So that's good. No, they're actually being quite good. So they're going to win in physicality. They're going to win the outside backs. They're going to be faster. They're going to be stronger. They've got a better halfback, and they're going to probably win by a lot of points. Let's go with Zach Hosking, man of the match. I think there's a try and plenty of work in his future. But the first one will be James Schiller, who hopefully can pen down that wing spot because he's been playing good footy.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I got a funny feeling the Titans will probably play their best game of the season in this game, but I'm still going to tip the Raiders 13 plus. I just really like what they've been doing in their outside backs. I think it's going to be one of the wingers. I was originally teed up to go with Schiller, but I'll go the other side. We'll go with Savage, first try scorer, and I just think there's just too much consistency out of Fogarty, what we've seen from him in the start of this year. His kicking game, he's been kicking teams to death. And I can see 2 or 3 tries coming directly off his boot in this game as well, if not one through his passing game. So Raiders 13 plus, Fogarty man of the match, Savage first try scorer.
He's $1.10 to get Dally M points.
Yeah.
Brent?
I'm pretty much the same. Like, Raiders are going to run away with this, I think, in my opinion. 13 plus. I also think Savage is going to get the first try, but I think Fogarty's going to be the man of the match. I think they're just going to run all over the Titans. Just going off previous games. So.
Lovely. Very quickly, I'll just spend really any time on this because I'm very tired, but have a look at Supercoach. It puts me to sleep.
Well, you just mentioned Schiller there before. He's set for 150K upgrade this week if he gets more than about 30 points. So if you don't have him, you probably already want to go out and get him. Time of the year now, you really need to nail down 3 out of your 4 in the spine. So you need to have your hooker, your 7 and your 1, I would imagine. They're the 3 positions that I'm trying to nail down this week. And you want your starting, you want probably your set and forgets in those positions now, in your 9, 7 and 1. So
have a think about that. We might revisit. We're going to be round 6 next week. DPPs are coming in. Let's revisit Supercoach next week and probably just have a look at what's going on there.
But yeah, your hookers are just about now. If you don't get them this week, they're going to be out of reach, I think.
I've got
going
Harry and
into the
Appy, but
week
that's
after.
about the only highlight of my teams at the moment. So
Your sevens are still a bit of a toss-up. There's a little bit of money you can save going with Johnson and Hughes over the likes of Cleary and and Hines, but who's going to produce is yet to be seen over the next couple of weeks. And fullback's an interesting one,
it is an
especially
interesting one.
now with Tedesco going down. Drinkwater's probably not a bad outside option if you're not sticking with the guys that are absolutely killing it at the moment in the likes of if you want your Pappenhausens, you want your
Pong
If
has
you
just
don't have
got
the
Pong,
money, if you don't have the money to spend, Drinkwater's a great option.
as the most expensive of the lot. But he's but Pong has got a golden run. If you can get him, it's time to get him and hold him to Origin. Unfortunately, I've got issues. Teddy and Gutho. But that's a whole different story, which we'll save for later.
Yeah.
What's got you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to nail down my spine this week, and then I've got a bit of work to do in me back
The
row.
only thing I'll say is don't be afraid to just play Strange and Galvin in your six. And
Yeah, well, that's what I did last week with Strange, and it worked out well, obviously, with 90-odd points.
And Lockie's averaging over 50.
I've got him in, but he's another week, isn't it? Until
Yeah,
he's back
he's
the
back
week
next
after.
week. He's back next week.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
interesting moves there. I think Schiller will probably end up back in my centres, I would imagine, and try to find another six to come in and complement Galvin in there. But whether I move Brooks down and go for another halfback, but that's a whole different thing.
I'm nowhere near up to date with the super coach, as we clearly worked out before when we did our draft setting. Barney told me I had 1,000 points and I still had friggin' bikes on the field that weren't even on the field. So, yeah, I've got no idea when it comes to super coach, but I'm trying.
We can coach you up. That's right.
That's
work on
right.
that.
My whole bench at the moment is all Penrith on the draft. So
It happens.
now
That's
that
everyone.
thanks for a little bit of help from Barney. So
We what's got you frothing, Brent? What's got you really excited for this weekend of footy?
at the end of the day,
Panthers aren't playing, so
Yeah, Panthers have to buy.
No, they're not playing.
you don't have to worry about them losing. So that's the start.
Well, that's it. Guaranteed 2 points.
Okay, that's fine. A lot of us
That's it.
take that in
I'll
life.
That
take
was
that.
mine last week.
Exactly.
Nah, look, at the end of the day, I'll be frothing if it's not the flop of the round, the Tigers are
Okay.
Dragons.
That's very optimistic of you. Yeah. I'm frothing for, well, like I said, great weekend. We've got UFC 300 championships, Tigers straight after UFC, but I'm looking for, obviously the Queensland Derby's got me excited. Just looking forward to seeing that pans out, just seeing whether the Dolphins actually fit. I do half smell an ambush as suggested, but I think that's going to be close to game of the round. I think it should be fast, intense, and I think there's going to be points to come, Barn.
I totally agree. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be
there's
a good
it's a
game.
bit of a mediocre round for mine. I think there's going to be some blowouts and some ugly games of football in this one. But the two games that have got me going is Knights and Roosters. I think that's going to be a pretty competitive game and probably better than most people would expect. I think you see a bit of back and forth in that game. And the one you mentioned, Broncos Dolphins, probably the game of the weekend.
Beautiful. We've got through 3 hours of talking shit. Thank you for joining us, Brent. Anything you want to plug? And we can find you. Just
no.
plug your Instagram.
Brentwood Smoker.
Brentwood Barbecue
Yeah.
on Instagram. Yeah, Brentwood_barbecue.
You want some of his meat in your DMs? Check that out.
Recipes.
That's it. I'll hopefully be putting up some more posts in the next week or two. Got a big barbecue coming up in about 3 weeks. So
Very
a bit
good.
of brisket, I believe, and some jalapeno poppers, maybe some pork shots, some pork belly bites. Yeah, there's going to be some yummy food.
Perfect. Now I'm hungry, so let's go. Thank you, Barn.
Thank you, mate.
We will talk to everyone soon.
Bye.